Welcome back, everyone, to the last day of the Masterclass Grand Finals. Yesterday's match just set an incredible tone. We had some long, drawn-out slugfests, some lightning-fast rounds, and of course, your nail-biting clutch wins from our competitors. Overall, just a true showcase of how insanely skilled our finalists truly are. But if you missed day one, don't worry. All the action from yesterday's cast is going to be available on our YouTube channel for both NA and EU. So if you haven't checked that out, please go ahead and watch it there. We also have a VOD on Twitch as well, but you know, YouTube does have a little bit of a better view experience for that. Anyways, today is going to be the second wave of classes as they all enter the arena. We're going to see in these clashes who ultimately is going to claim the throne to become the true master class. My name is Cian Baja, returning once again as your host to guide y'all through the mayhem, the clutch moments, and a lot of the heartbreak that ensues as well, all of which can only come from the Masterclass tournament. And of course, holding down the desk with me today is going to be our awesome analyst and Giga Chat shoutcaster, Armin and Etsu. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? But before that, I'll just, give a little preamble of what happened yesterday. We've seen some, great plays from the competitors that we had yesterday. We had these two just dissecting all the key matchups and highlighting some of the big decision-making moments from our finalists. And now they're back today to help us navigate through the rest of the brackets and keep that same level of hype going as we wrap things up for 2025. Gentlemen, welcome back. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. It's good to be back. I know you pointed out that me and Armin were dissecting stuff, but honestly, it felt like it was a group effort from all three of us yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. One of the most notable matches, I believe, Kairos versus Melter happening yesterday was such a good match. We had a few other good matches under the Valkyrie bracket as well. But today, I'm really excited to be joining you guys again. Just so you guys, I'm sure you guys know my name, CM Etsu. It's good to be back here with Vaha and Armin. And yeah, today's just going to be a lot of excitement because it seems like all the ego skirmish-esque classes are all front-loaded into Sunday. Ooh. So we're going to see a lot of ego battles for sure. And I'm super excited to see it.
Sounds good.
Armin?
Yeah, a lot of pure opportunities for me to lose my voice. I almost feel like you guys did this on purpose so that, day one I can take it a little easy, and then day two I can just, send it all out.
You got to ease into it, man.
Yeah, I got to ease into it, warm up the voice a little bit.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you said that as if it was a bad thing.
How's it going? My name is Armin. I stream on twitch.tv, ArminTF. If you guys haven't heard of me, you can check out my Twitch channel. I do mostly PvP content, and I'm here to shoutcast, give a little bit of hype for these matches, do better than EU, try to show them up a little bit. What can I say?
Okay.
But yeah.
Speaking of Ego Sundays.
But I'm super excited for today, and we got Ninja and Kuno today. The two classes I've been looking forward to the most for
Absolutely.
For sure. And yeah, like I said, day one set a very fierce standard, and now it's time for these final contenders to see if they can carve out a little bit of history on their own, to join the stars, leave their names up in the heavens.
For sure.
Day two is where everything gets locked in, right? So at the end of it, we're really going to find out who's going to be your master class champion for our entire roster. And with that, let's go ahead and hop into things. The final day of the Masterclass tournament begins now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I believe we're starting with Dosa.
Let's go ahead and jump into the overview really quickly first.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Sorry, spoilers.
No worries. For anyone who didn't see, we have a whole line of classes for us to go through today. It's going to be starting off with Dosa, Musa, Megu, Tamer, Meiwa, Wusa, Hashashin, Ninja, Dark Knight, Ranger, Archer, Scholar, Corsair, and last but not least, Kuno Ichi. So a little bit more ratty, a lot of your speedster classes today. Should be fun, like Armin said, for him to lose his voice over.
I'm going to get loud, so you guys might want to turn the stream down potentially just a little bit.
Yes. All right, and with that squared away, let's go ahead and look at some of the rule sets that we have going on. As I mentioned yesterday, it's going to be your classic AOA Arena of Arsha format with a 3-minute match. We're going to have health decaying starting at 2 minutes. You're going to have an 80% max health decrease. And further at the 1 minute mark, you'll be lowered to just a halfway point, so 50% health pools for both combatants. And there will also be a barrier that slowly closes in, so we can force some of those engagements for maybe some of the more drawn out matches to get some of the action going. And yeah, these competitors will be fighting on the Arsha Gear Set 3. They're going to be rocking that 375 AP and 435 DP. As you guys all know, it's going to be a 1v1 tournament, single class, of course, mirror matches all around. Of course, we might see some shakeups with the specializations. Maybe someone's going to be Rock and Suck. Maybe someone's going to be bringing Awakening to the table, or not. You know, we'll see. And why don't we jump into the rewards for our competitors today? Starting
good
at,
stuff.
Yes, sir. Starting at top 32, you're going to be taking home 20,000 crons. Quite a hefty amount, but it only gets better from here. Top 16, you're going to be taking home 30,000 crons. Top 8, 40,000 cron stones. A lot of crons, just making it rain out here. Top 4, it gets even sweeter, 50,000 cron stones. And for your second place, we thought the cron stones were nice, you know, but why don't we go ahead and add a bunch of pearls on top. You're going to be taking home 50,000 pearls on top of those 50k cron stones, and also a master class second place trophy. Very interesting to note that this trophy is actually a furniture buff that you can leave in your house or manor. It offers all AP plus 15, 100 max health, and it lasts for 10 hours. Has 10 uses on it, so if you have some key moments, maybe like a big GVG you have to show up for the next 9.5 hours, you know what to do. Go ahead and pop that buff
Maybe
on.
100-hour GVG marathon too, who knows?
Yeah, just like punching in for the entire weekend. Anyways, on top of that, you will also get the glorious Arsha Awakening weapon. You're going to get 100 days on that. A little nice lease of glory. Of course, like Etsu mentioned yesterday, it does not expire from your inventory once it does
So you
become
can still
unusable.
link it. You can still link it.
You can still flex it on people. You are indeed a top contender as you earned one of these, so really nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the first place rewards. Everything from before, just a lot of the great stuff you've seen, but of course the big one here that's got everyone's eyes is going to be the 100k pearls. Just 2 massive suitcases full of blue cookies. Wait, that's the cron stones. Nice pearlies to just do whatever you want with them, you know, buy some of the new bundles that we have in the Pearl Shop, or just save them for another seasonal event in the future. Yeah, just massive reward. 50,000 cron stones, like I mentioned, and you will be also getting the exclusive winner's title for your class. So as you can see on the graphic on the right side, if you top the warrior class, you're going to be getting that master warrior. Some of the classes we have today, you will be getting the master ninja or kuno, and so on. And on top of that, this one's really big. I feel like this one's probably going to be the one that stands out the most. Of course, going to be chilling on Villa rooftops, hanging out with the homies, and someone's just going to pull up with that massive griffin, maybe just driving up, down, saying hi.
Who needs rooftop hopping while you're in Discord? Now you got a griffin mounting while you're in
crazy
Discord.
stuff. Yeah, so you're gonna get a 1-year lease on that license. Just be able to flex on everyone in game with your new mount. Really cool stuff. I do hope we add more interesting and diverse mounts in the future. Of course, we love our tier 10 horses, but we always like to mix things up a little bit. And on top of that, your first place trophy, master class first place, a furniture buff, same thing, but of course this one's going to be the real one, the real kicker here. The first place winner was going to take home that, and along with that you get a championship ring. We like to keep things
more linking.
Yeah, more linking, and I think it's just like the mark of a truly amazing video player. Not many of these exist in the game, of course. We've had some tournaments in the past, but yeah, just a really cool piece of history to take home.
I don't have one. Do you have one?
Armin?
So. I have one.
Do you?
I do.
Oh,
but you can't notice it.
Why?
He didn't bring it into the office.
It's
he didn't bring it
ninjas.
into the
It's
studio.
not a. Oh.
Have you ever seen the clip? It's called. Oh, did you see it move? No.
No.
Okay, never mind. I'll link it to you later.
Okay. And on top of that, you will be getting the glorious Arsha Awakening weapon. This one's going to be permanent, so that's going to stick with you forever. Some really cool weapons in there. I definitely do like the greatsword myself, but unfortunately, I'm not good enough to get it. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the first matchup that we have going on today. As mentioned, we have our Dosas ready to square up in our first match of the day. Why don't we get their names lined up here? It's going to be
Smash
your
versus
two.
Games.
Yeah,
I'm
your
Smash.
two finalists.
I'm Smash has played Musa in the past. Correct?
Yes, he is a longtime Musa player.
Did he play
Awakening
Hash?
Musa. I think he tried out Hash. I could be wrong about that, but I think something along those lines. But I always remembered him as a Musa, and now he's
Now he's on Dosa.
really big Node War fragger on the Dosa.
Nice,
Just really
nice.
good at Node Wars. Yeah.
I'm seeing kind of like a progression of some of these people who play certain type of classes that have a certain playstyle. You usually start with like the Musa.
They just gravitate.
Yeah.
Then moved into the
They
Hashashin,
upgrade.
Yeah,
and then
they-
into maybe like an Awake and Save,
Yeah.
or sometimes in this case the Dosa.
The
you know,
Dosa.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Hey, look,
they
I
keep
mean, it's a
the
simple playstyle, right?
kind of super armor, the protection. kind of similarity across the classes.
For sure, for sure. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the bracket that we have at ready, GM Wisdom, to see how these competitors have reached the finals. Etsu, why don't you get us started off here on some of the journeys, trials and tribulations they had to encounter while getting over here?
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like I'm Smash went through Dragon, Eerie, and Games went through Shag Nasty. Any familiar names on these brackets?
Personally, I didn't get a chance to run through the Dosa bracket and end up watching it. But on the top side of the bracket, we had 3 prominent Dosa players. We had Hero Play, we had Bingy, and we had I'm Smash. And everyone thought Hero Play was going to make the grand finals for the topside bracket. And funny enough, he lost in round 1.
Ooh.
So a lot of people were upset with Hero Play. And then Bingy, I think he also lost later on. And I don't remember if it was the Smash or not. But regardless, the point stands. Smash in a topside bracket that was stacked with essentially what a lot of people consider to be like the best open world Dosa players in the game. Made it to the finals, so clearly showing that he was the best Dosa in that regard in the setup. As for the bottom side, there weren't really many names I recognized. Games I have heard of, I have seen his name around, but not too familiar with him, not like previous guildmates or anything. I think most people are going into this finals expecting Smash to be the favorite.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. And yeah, it's really awesome to see that we have maybe some new names hopping into the scene here, especially, since BDO's been a game that's been around for such a long time. You do have your tenured veterans, your long-time standing PvPers in the community. But of course, just seeing a young gun come out of nowhere and just rise to the top is always something really awesome to see.
We all love a good underdog story.
We did almost see Divios lose yesterday.
We did.
It went to
crazy.
It went to the last round, last second. So it was very, very close. So I'm curious to see what upsets we see today. Same with Kairos versus Multi-Melter. I think even a lot of that matchup, a lot of people thought that Multi-Melter was going to win, and Kairos almost ended up toppling him.
Definitely put up a show. So I think the chat is also thinking that I'm Smash is going to take this, but let's go ahead and find out what happens.
So let's get it going.
This is
Smash
be
versus
Succession
Games.
versus
Succession versus Succession. When it comes to Awakening Dosa, they are going to have a pretty hard time against Succession Dosa specifically, and if you're wondering the reason why, it comes down to protections. Awakening Dosa, while still pretty protected, has a lot of iframes to rely on, doesn't really have the SA damage pressure that Succession Dosa has. And as you can see right here, while Smash did end up getting caught, it seems like in terms of combo damage, Games is going to struggle a little bit to get that 100% to 0 combo in that first minute. But going into our second minute with our 80% HP caps, if you guys weren't tuning in yesterday, the combos are going to be a lot heftier, a lot more damage. But getting back to the point I was talking about, Succession Dosa, very, very protected. Basically, FGs and gaps in this class are pretty much optional, although keep in mind when it comes to trading, especially on a lot of these SA-heavy classes, you're going to want to opt into FGs sometimes just to try and get an HP advantage in the trades, which is probably how Smash ended up getting caught in the first place. Games, now with a 2-minute timer, is going to be moving around in the neutral game. Cloudjeff comes out of Smash. Now, going for the oblique deep haze. And Succession Dosa, a lot of skills, surprisingly, that they use in the neutral game. They can send clones, actually. A lot of these small clones that you guys see popping up, they can send them kind of from even a mid-range AoE and CC you behind your frontal guard. It's like kind of an auto-tracking, auto-target kind of ability. So it can do a lot of damage. And Smash already getting the CC over onto Games. Games scared about the damage. Succession Dosa very high in burst damage and very good at down smashing the opponent in the middle of their combo. Is going to be able to force Games' V coming out. 1 minute 20 seconds. We're about to hit the 50% HP timers. Games trying to get over behind Smash's back. Is not going to manage to hit. Smash goes in for the Shift Q AoE K knockdown. That 360 kind of multi-soldier spawn you see that Smash doing. It is a 360 AoE knockdown. And if you do come in with some kind of unprotected skill, you can get caught. Games, he just used it just there again. However, obviously in the Succession Dosa versus Dosa matchup, kind of hard to get caught off guard by that. A lot more of the catches that we're going to see are kind of Games maybe greeting for an FG, Smash ending up to getting behind them, maybe greeting for movement a bit too much. That is how we're going to see it. 46 seconds. This is probably going to be coming down to HP. Goes for the Taegook. Is not going to manage to get the damage off right there. Looks like Smash has barely managed to iframe out. Now, Cloud Strife needs to move around. Fog
Smash
the damage.
damage.
Gets a CC. Good CC coming out of Smash. Got him with the Summer Breeze and takes the first round.
Sheesh, there's a lot of back and forth trading going on there.
Yeah, but it was just it ended up so quick. There wasn't even a V that came out and just died on the spot.
Yeah, and that is just Succession Dosa. You can see, I mean, even the AoEs, I think this class has enough AoE to hit the entire last minute of the arena. You know, it is pretty crazy. And I can tell you from personal experience, fighting Dosa on a Succession Ninja, not the most fun experience.
Oh, it's tough.
Even on
so
DK,
tough. It's tough.
Yes. I am so scared permanently of fighting this class. So I can only imagine as another Succession Dosa, you know, going into this matchup, while you do have the essays to trade, you can see their protection icons, while they're pretty heavily protected with iframe SA, these kind of miss skills that they have, they can still kind of get caught in them a little bit. And greeting the FG right there, Smash instantly managed to hit it with the Summer Breeze. That 360 AoE KD, Games forced a V right off the bat. The damage.
He's just standing in the middle of the arena, aura farming right now.
He really does. The cloud skills, I mean, dude, I actually think this class is probably one of the best looking classes in the game. The movement, just the way it looks when it's moving around, feels so smooth and pretty. The Taeguk tries to go for the damage. That Taeguk that he drops, that kind of like gets a little cloud orbit around him and then shoots the 4 beams forward, I believe has a down smash attached, and in terms of damage, just very good in terms of neutral burst damage. So Games doing his best to avoid that for the chip will be a lot more important in the neutral game, especially as we get to the last minute. In this instance, all these guys are trying to do right now is kind of trade it out, look for an opening, and maybe if someone greets a bit too hard with an FG like Games was earlier, Smash will try to get behind him like in those instances and get that CC. Not going to manage to right there. Games goes to the Taeguk. He's going to use his iframe back in the middle of it. You can kind of do a little dash back in some of Dosa's skills to get away. 1 minute 30 seconds now. Games trying to space away and Smash hard on the offensive. Goes for the Virga Shaft. Is not going to manage to get anything right there. Summer Breeze one more time. A little bit too far away for the CC. Smash probably trying to reset his stamina right now. A lot of these stationary skills, you can see he's not as mobile, although it has some movement attached, is just going to be stamina regen for him. Trying to upkeep that. Probably was burning a bit too much chasing after Games. Now 50% HP time is coming in. Keep in mind, Games still Novi available. Dosa does have kind of a few block jump-esque skills available. Not really like a hard block jump with a CC attached always, but you can kind of shift it into a CC skill at the same exact time.
Still get back attack with it.
Yes, you can also still get back attack. And in this kind of matchup, especially these SA heavy damage trading matchups, back attack add-ons are going to be super important. Taeguk comes out from Smash's side, trying to trade out into Games. Games got a good, decent trade back with the Summer Breeze. Autumn waiting it out.
Smash winning
FG coming out from Smash right there. Games almost managed to get behind it. It's just a little bit too close. 36 seconds.
Trying to get the heal.
Yeah, he's trying to get the heal. He puts his back against the wall right there. These guys are trying to not run into the zone. Succession Dosa's skills end up moving him quite a lot. And you can see going for the FG right there. Spring Frost backs up. Goes forward with the oblique. Summer Breeze goes for the 360 KD. It's going to be an FG coming out of Games, but the damage is just a bit too much. Probably even had his block broken, by the way, from the damage.
Yeah,
so
really
Smash.
underestimating the damage.
Well, he was also spamming the block heal for a bit, just over and over. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he lost out frontal there.
It is tough. I do wish that we could kind of see how the FGs are looking on these players as they're playing through the rounds. But you can usually tell when their block's broken. It's typically going to be after 2 to 3 skills. If they eat 2 to 3 hard chunking skills, especially we saw in the Wizard matchup or the Witch matchup yesterday with Belly and Fabi, once they start hitting you with a couple of skills like that, the block, you can see it's broken when the damage is still registering despite the FG icon being there. So keep an eye out for that. Smash as well, despite not being able to see his opponent's front guard meter, can also usually tell, hey, I've probably broken this guy's block. I'm just going to keep on hitting it and not even try to go for the CC behind him. And so Smash has been doing a really great job of trading out throughout these rounds. Games, we're going to have to see how he tries to flip it on his head here. Has been trying to use the pillars a little bit, putting his back against it to deny the back attack damage, but so far not working out too well. Goes into the Taeguk, backs up off of it once again to try and hit the damage onto Smash, but Smash, predicting that something like that was going to happen, was already preemptively moving to where Games' back was going to be, so very aware of the movement in the Dosa matchup right there. Goes in, try to go for the down attack, that little down swing you see him doing on some of these movements, I believe has a bound, or a knockback attached onto it. Dosa actually has several knockbacks in his combo. It kind of lets you do a fully extended combo if you manage to get a CC. So for example, you can get a KD, do a full damage setup, wait for them to try to slowly stand up, then hit a knockback into another skill, following up with a second KD. Gives him a lot of damage opportunities, and it's why he can definitely kill and you force a V early on in the round. Games, however, this time around, no early V popped up from him. Seems like he's playing a lot more protect and is taking the trades a lot more evenly. The longer he can take this time and maybe go to a timeout, even if he's playing potentially, I don't want to say worse than Smash, but maybe Smash is just a little bit more on point today, he can still try and win out by trading out damage towards the final seconds. Some people say, you know, oh, he might be a better Dosa player, but you can still be a better Arena of Arsha player. It is a part of the skill and is a part of these tournaments to try and play around your environment, even in Arena of Solaire. So something to keep in mind as this round goes on. Now into the final circles, 1 minute, 50% HP timers, goes out for the Taeguk, is going to end up actually hitting. You can see that did at least like a 15% damage chunk over onto Games. Very noticeable on that DPS. Good movement coming out from Smash. Try to get behind Games there, but Games once again trading back with the Taeguk over onto Smash. Already as a result of that, lost about 20%. Good FG from Games right there. Ended up hitting Smash. Smash is going to try to hit back with the FG of his own. Games, however, managed to get behind him. Taeguk comes out over on Smash's side. Games comes out. There's an Autumnal
Smash
leaf.
winning out on the
Needs to
trade.
be careful.
Again.
There's a full damage. Hits him with a little backswing right there. Needs to be careful. FG traded out by Smash. Tries to go for the Virga shift and try to avoid the damage. Barely managed to. Now Smash holding it. Winter Squire. I believe it's Winter Squire. Hits the FG home run it. Q block, trying to survive. The Q blocks are super important in this matchup, and is Smash going to win it with 3-0? He will. The final damage chunk to get it out. And kind of as people predicted, Smash played it just super well, super knowledgeable on the matchup. And this is kind of how he won throughout the whole brackets, just was stomping
really
through his opponents.
Absolutely. Yeah, as you mentioned, Armin, Smash was just doing a really good job taking those trades, especially like as time went on. Yeah, just really phenomenal gameplay from both of them, but congratulations to Smash for winning that.
Yeah, and yeah, it just seemed like Smash always had Game's number, just being able to just curve those bullets around.
Yeah.
Or I guess missed a little bit around.
Just like
miss,
barely
yeah.
dodging those abilities,
Yeah, exactly.
trading back with like Shift Q or Shift E, like the big swing one that's Autumnal.
I think it's Autumnal Leaf. I don't remember
Autumnal
the second
Leaf?
term exactly,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just know that I'm familiar with them. But
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
doing a good job weaving in and out between those trades.
yeah, and if you don't play Dosa, I do understand that, like, you know, it's not actually surprisingly not the most popular class. Despite I think being so strong, not a lot of people play it, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on all the time. But it is a lot of like minute details in the SA trading. If you guys have ever played an SA trade class or a matchup, it's all about saving your iframe for this timing, using your Q block. The blocks actually coming out from Smash right there were really important
clutch.
to
Yeah.
try and
heals
kind
you.
of deny the damage where he could.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
really technical stuff coming out from him. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
so congratulations to Smash. You are indeed the Masterclass Dosa, taking it with a really swift 3-0, just really dominant again throughout the match. I think that's one of the things that's kind of interesting to look at for one of some of these newer classes that we have coming out in the scene. You do have a lot of this, I guess, new age tech that literally allows you to pocket your ability, to use it after a dash.
Yes.
So, you know, it's another layer that you kind of have to keep track of while you're fighting this class. Of course, you are on the same class. If you are here at this tournament, you are knowledgeable about that, but just something to keep in mind. As are some of our back-end GMs have mentioned, we are handling a little bit of a technical issue on the back end. The bit rate isn't that clean, so we're going to go ahead and restart the stream after a 30-second break. So please don't touch the browser. We're going to be jumping out for just a moment here. I'm going to get back in there. I think a little bit of the issues from yesterday lingering.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so stay tuned. If anything, just reload the browser after 30 seconds, and yeah, we'll be right back.
Another water break for me. I'll take it.